briefly introduce about yourself and then about a little bit about Pramaseller?
Sure. Thanks, Rajesh, and hi, Vishal. I'm Mohammed Ali. I'm the founder of Pramaseller. We're a retail platform for the new era of retail. What we're building is essentially a backend which helps businesses, whether they're small or big, scale across multiple chains of stores as well as their online channels seamlessly, which means that your typical omni-channel problems of a customer walking into the store, buying the last piece which is stocked out, and how we manage that information across online channels, making sure that's stocked out, all online channels, the orders across channels in a single place. So that's what we're trying to do. It's an omni-channel inventory and order management software. It is. We started off, as an India-focused company, and now we're more or less. I mean, a majority of our sales comes from the US and Canada, and also we started off from SME, SME in India, SME in US, and now we're moving towards mid-market and hopefully enterprise in the US and Canada.
Vishal.
Thanks, Rajesh. So I'm Vishal. I head products for First Time. First Time is essentially a customer data platform. It's a MarTech product. And what we essentially do is help enterprises get a true single view of who their customers are and where are they actually interacting or transacting with them. If you look at the way most enterprises struggle with marketing in general itself today. So while everything is marketing and marketing is everything, enterprises still treat customers across different channels as disparate entities. And as a result of which, from a consumer perspective, you often are left feeling that maybe the brand just doesn't know me, or maybe the brand doesn't have enough information about me. While the truth of the matter is that while all the data may reside with the brand, they are just not able to stitch it together. And that, at its core, is what First Time essentially does. So we started building this product out about when we actually put the pen to paper was about June 2015. From where we actually went live with our alpha in the Jan of 2016, went with a global commercial beta in towards August-September of 2016. And while a bulk of our business so far has come from Enterprise India, the core focus as we scale from here on is with US as the primary market, and even within Asia itself, we are kind of expanding beyond India now and have started acquiring customers across Singapore and Hong Kong as well. So that's our story.
So I'll basically start with you. How did you go about acquiring your first customer? Basically, you put this whole concept in 2015 June, and then you had the beta release next year. And how did you go about acquiring your first customer? Given that there was no other, he didn't have any reference point. So how did you go about that? And I'm going to ask Ali also.
So, frankly, when we actually started building out the product, the term customer data platform itself was fairly new. And from that perspective, we didn't really have a playbook per se that kind of chalked out that this is what we needed to do to build the product, or how do we kind of acquire customers. The advantage that we did have, however, is that Aditya, in his previous startup, had run an agency for about 6 years, which was essentially a marketing services-oriented agency. And as a result of that, there were about 150 large enterprises in India where we had connects. And we, at one point, were a 200-member plus organization in its previous avatar, which was eMart Solutions.
That's interesting, actually. They had a very proliferating services business, and they actually killed that and started this product company, which many of the startups that I actually tell they're in services, and they make that hesitation to switch towards a product that it's a pretty good example of how from services they switch to a product. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, so that was the initial set of customers that we acquired in India. But one of the things that we had also done was when we actually went live with the commercial beta, which was around September 2016, because we had by that time built a fairly complex product with a lot of different modules, a lot of different working parts, we needed enough customers to actually test it out. So we actually threw open the beta with an SME pricing. And as a result of that, we actually got about 1200 plus SME customers from about 64 countries with absolutely negligible spends on marketing. And that was something that we kind of ran as an experiment for about 6-8 months.
So how did you reach out to these customers? Was it digital marketing?
It was primarily inbound, it was primarily SEO. And from that was the entire crux of how those set of customers were essentially coming in to help us kind of test out the product. I wouldn't say that was the path. But one of the earlier accelerators that we were a part of did kind of help us make the decision that we cannot have our feet in both boats, which is what we were trying to do at one point, saying that we will be in a position to serve the SME and the enterprise market. And that kind of forced us to start focusing on the enterprises. And then that, I think, became the second business that we are kind of killing off and priced ourselves out of the market, closed out all the existing SME contracts, and then focused completely on the enterprises. And today, I think we have about more than 30 deployments across India and APAC, and we just closed the first LATAM customer as well in the recent weeks. So,
That's right. Okay, all right. Okay, Ali, how did you go about acquiring your first customer?
Yeah, so mine is a very different background. I come from a non-sales background. I've been in engineer operations. I managed warehouses, so that's why I connect with the inventory management software. And so I'm more of a product guy than a sales guy. So I didn't know anything about sales. All my interactions with external parties were a different power equation where they wanted to sell something to me. So I've never. So my initial approach towards sales was, okay, I want to build something where people come to me and I don't go to people. Of course, after 6 years, I know that's not a great philosophy, but that was an idea. And I think that's every entrepreneur's dream, that build something that people come to. And you never have to do a cold call. So actually, we put out a website and did a little bit of SEO. This was even before pre-launch, when someone had registered for an early version. It's a company who's still a customer. It's called Heads Up for Tails. They're a retail chain. They have about 20 stores. They were our first customer. So the founder reached out. I went and met her, and at that time we were in Delhi. So I went and met her in her warehouse in Okla and gave her tips about how to manage her warehouse. And it was a very scalable way of doing it, but I guess for starters you have to do things that don't scale. So it was inbound, based on a little bit of SEO, met them, and over time they grew our business and we grew our business with them.
So the first customer for you is basically a combination of SEO and then reaching out to the customer, working very closely and
all things that don't scale. That's how we got our first customer. And a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet, I think they have this similar story that first few customers have gotten through things that don't scale. Like, I shouldn't bother about how repeatable it is, at least for the first few customers.
Right. And can you give some examples of non-scalable things that you do over acquiring your first set of customers?
I mean, like literally visiting and consulting. Consulting is one thing that I've given. Like even in the US and UK, we have now a few SMEs who are first-time retailers, and I literally had to get on calls and consult with them on how they could truly be omni-channel. So I think that helped. But because they were SME and the price points aren't, they're a typical $2,000 or $3,000 a year kind of customer, that's again not scalable. Consulting is possibly scalable on an enterprise once we move to a 30K or 50K.
And from that stage to the current number of set of customers that you have, what has been the strategy? Was it been more of inbound or was it been more of outbound?
Yeah, so now we're completely inbound. We're still trying to go to that dream of bring customers to us. So far, because we've not yet gone enterprise, we're on our way going to enterprise. So SMEs, completely SEO. We don't spend a single dollar on ads. A little bit of Quora, a little bit of content and webinars. People come to us, explore our website, they ping us on chat or request a demo. We reach out to them, give a demo on Zoom. 30% of our customers never had even a phone call with us. They just enter their card at the end of the 14-day free trial, and we just start billing. So 30%. And 70% of our customers, we typically do a demo, and then they all go.
Got it. And Vishal, I'll switch to Vishal. So from first customer to 30 clients, what has been the strategy for you? Was it being more outbound? Was it inbound, or combination of both?
Yeah. So for us, it's again, frankly, been a combination.
Yeah.
Because again, in India, we do not have an inside sales team at all right now. So outbound is limited to the cold calling that our existing sales team, which is essentially Aditya, myself, and one more gentleman essentially is able to do. So we still rely on a lot of inbound leads that come in and a lot of internal customer references that come in as well. And that kind of feeds about 40-50% of our existing funnel. Along with one of the things that we've also tried to do here is build partnerships with SIs. And this is again something that's kind of proven helpful in helping us generate good quality, high value leads. And basis that, when we are actually looking at US as a market, since we obviously have very skeletal teams there right now, that there we've kind of hired a couple of demand gen agencies for us. So that is completely primarily outbound, with almost 90% of the leads coming in from an outbound process, with only about 10% coming in right now through partners.
And what strategy worked for you for scaling? Like, can you give a couple of examples of what are the things which really work for you?
Yeah. So again, I think a couple
Was it
of
product, or was it the channel strategy, or maybe SEOs? What are the significant most factor which helped?
Again, there I think there have been a couple of interesting things that I think we've done that have helped us. One is because we kind of go in and integrate with all of the brand's existing mission critical systems. Typically, the sales cycle were fairly complex and long. So one of the things that we kind of realized fairly quickly was that we had to shorten the sales cycle. And the way we actually did that was either by looking to solve specific customer objectives, so kind of designing solutions around specific use cases, or going in for a paid POC, which were small 3 to 6 month deployments, comparatively bite-sized. And that was definitely something. So the land and expand strategy basically is something that has definitely helped us, and that continues to be one of the key tenets for us as we scale. The second has been partners, but again, there not every partner is created equal, obviously. So that is something that where we are actually learning as well on the fly. And with the new partners coming in, new geographies coming in, we have different levels of success with different partners, and we are kind of learning as we go along.
And what's your typical customer life cycle?
So from a customer life cycle,
Right from identification to closure of a deal, what's the duration?
so the average duration for a full POC is obviously smaller, but let's say for a core CDP deployment, which is it's about 6 to 9 months on an average. In India, US has been a little shorter than that for the couple of first closures. But for the POCs or the use case deployments that we typically go in for, that has varied between 2 and 4 months. So significantly shorter for us, and that's why we believe that
This
is
is for
really
the
scalable.
POC sale, or this for the entire product sale?
The 2 to 4 months is for the POC or the use case set,
Got it.
while 6 to 9 months is the average for the product set.
Got it. So basically, you figured out that doing a POC, land there,
Exactly.
okay,
Just land in, get in,
get
and
into the
showcase value.
that worked really well. For
Yes.
us. Got it. Hari, what's your typically sales cycle, and what has been working for you for the last over the years of operation?
So for us, it is because of the fact that we connect their brick and mortar sale and online sale. It's harder for us to do the land and expand because they can't use us only for brick and mortar. The whole point of it being you have to connect it to other stores and also connect it online. So it's a full-blown integration. We're actually now beginning to pick up some leads where we can bring in one module and then slowly replace other parts. But otherwise, again, when we started off, I'll just talk about the US journey. For SMEs, it's on an average of about 24 days. 14-day free trial, and after some extension, they typically come 24 days. The slightly larger deals that we've done closer to 10K is about 3 months. Yeah.
what worked for you in terms of was there any trick or basically like in the case of first type, they decided that they first land there and then expand. In your case, what worked for you to kind of increase in the set of customers? Is it basically the SEOs that work for you or references, client references?
Yeah, so we've actually gotten customers from references, and I think references is like we attended Sastra in the valley. People swear by it, but I think you need to hit certain critical volume. I think for companies like HubSpot, for example, 40% of their customers are from references. So we have probably I believe 5% of our customer base from references, and as the volume goes, it will just accelerate. But otherwise, it has been purely on the basis of SEO and the fact that we're a bit unique. We don't have too many people out there in the market who can bring brick and mortar and online in the same place.
Got it.
So, and operations wise, we're not talking about getting more customers. We're about we'll take care of your operations bit.
Okay. Satisfying the existing customers.
Yeah. So the fact that we were a bit unique, there are only 2 or 3 startups in the world who do that, and SEO. Typically, it's a well-researched category. Customers go ahead and research a bit. So we invested a lot on reviews, on the Gartner websites. And thankfully, the Palateds actually have the same reviews across all of their platforms. So reviews help us a lot, and we have good reviews. And then app stores, like for example, we're on the QuickBooks App Store. So we're part of their ecosystem as an accounting software. So accountants explore us over there. They're looking for a software that kind of brings everything into the accounting system, and then we fit in there. Similarly, we're on the BigCommerce App Store, which is similar to Shopify. And again, retailers who want to connect to their brick and mortar store look on the app stores and they find us. So those have been some of the other lead gen opportunities for us.
So SEOs, channels, which is basically the QuickBooks
Platforms, app stores.
App stores, basically that's the channel.
Yeah.
So these are 2 things, and the third is the customer references.
The reviews. Yeah. In SMEs, I think like references translate to reviews more.
All right. And any quick thoughts on, or maybe quick, what worked? How did you kind of improve your SEO? Because that's a common thing every startup would like to improve on. What are the things you did to improve your SEOs?
I think like SEO, and this is something I was speaking to Yash also the other day, that SEO in 2019 is not the same as SEO in 2017, let alone 2012. So a lot of content out there, how to do SEO or videos from 4 or 5 years ago, and people start implementing it, and it no longer works. So this is something which I've spoken this to other entrepreneurs, and they immediately resonate with it. So I think the main thing that worked was because I didn't rely on, and I tried this before we hired marketers to try and do SEO. I think me, myself, as the founder doing SEO, sort of helped because I tried to build up that expertise within me, and I knew what the product is, and I knew what the customer is better than an employee would. And SEO is very hard. Like if you have to be really dedicated to it, and it changes every month. And like people who got 10,000 backlinks in 2014, you just can't get those backlinks now. So you have to keep moving. So I think it's a very gradual process, and returns on SEO are always 6 months lagging. So it's about a long-term investment, but you have to do it. Like you can't keep relying on AdWords and outbound sale and suddenly say I'll shift to SEO to augment it. It will take a lot of time for you to catch up, and then you really don't know what SEO will be like. So you already have standard results where 45% of search results end up without clicks. So you're not really getting traffic because of the Google suggested widgets, lyrics or anything that you search is already on the Google search page. So fewer and fewer people are clicking through to go to websites. So SEO has changed a lot, and it's about just being up to date with what works.
With that, I'll open up for questions. We can take 1 or 2 questions. The audience, you have a question?
Hi, my name is Simpi. I have a question for Vishal. Since you spoke about data, customer data, and doing the marketing over it, did you face any data compliance issues, especially in the segments of India also? I think you're coming up and I think you've done the US market. Did you face a compliance issue?
So not really a compliance issue per se, because when we actually started building out the product itself, we were obviously cognizant of the fact that a lot of the mission critical data, including customer PII, will reside on our servers. So we kind of architected the solution from the ground up to be compliant with privacy by design norms. And security obviously is something that we focused on and kind of invested in upfront. So even without customers necessarily asking for it, we needed to kind of make sure that we are able to at least start off by having named responses to your posted information risk assessments that most of these global organizations would have. So basically building the expertise in-house to be able to respond to those so that you reserve your seat at the table and even are in the bidding for the contract in the first place. And over the long run, obviously kind of making sure that we are able to go out and make claims of being GDPR compliant, SOC 2 compliant, ISO 27001 compliant with the entire certification journey on in terms of multiple other security policies as they evolve.
And one more, did you save any data on cloud or you ensured it is always on-prem? How did you approach?
No, so today all my customers are on the cloud. We have built the solution to be cloud agnostic, but we are across multiple clouds. All customer data is available on external clouds.
One more question. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Mohit from UnoTag. So my question is for you, Ali. When you started out, you told you were more India specific and Indian SME specific. So after that, now you are going for the US market. So that journey, or was it easy, or like did you envision, or the product is similar what you sell to Indian SMEs and to US SMEs or enterprises? Like when you had started building the product, you would have a fixed customer problem mindset in your mind while building that thing. So has it changed a lot when you see the US market, or it's pretty much was it easy or difficult for you in that transition?
Yeah, so there are multiple aspects to it. If you look at, I mean, like retail, the nuts and bolts of retail are kind of consistent across continents, right? You have a supplier, you have inventory, and you sell, right? Those nuts and bolts are the same. But as a software product, there's a drastic difference in terms of expectations. An Indian SME typically, and that's why we felt that Indian SME market is not ready for a product software yet. A lot of people told us that's the case, but we said, okay, we'll try it anymore as a typical entrepreneur would. But it's a do-it-for-me demand over here, so usability is not that much high on your priority. Whereas they don't want to talk to you as much. They want to figure out and play around with the application a lot on their own. So the kind of investment we had to do was maximum around usability and discoverability of features inside the product. We had a radical shift towards building up support documentation, plugging that support documentation inside the app, and then positioning it. So over here, I believe the Indian retailers were a bit more concerned about their data and the reports that they could build out of it. Whereas in the US, they really value the efficiency that a product can give, because for them their time is more expensive than the time of an employee in India. So the efficiency aspect, and I think that has helped us be more robust, and we can scale up to an enterprise bringing that kind of UX which SME products typically have. So user experience, support expectations are all very different. In India, you have a lot more support expectation, whereas over there they want the product to solve for itself and tell you what you need to do. So it was a drastic change. To be honest, it took us about a year and a half to actually iteratively go show this, then push back, and then build all of that.
I think we are running short of time. We will take offline. So thank you, Ali. Thank you, Vishal. Round of applause.